Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. In this video I'm going to be talking about checklists. Checklists are a type of list, and checklists are one of the simplest types of mental models. The value of a checklist is that it reminds us not only to concentrate all our energies on only one or two areas, but also to pay attention to a whole spread of relevant tasks and situations. And it sort of binds us and gives us a way to get to our goals, plural. Checklists are a very simple format for a model. And as they become more sophisticated, they may evolve into flow diagrams, trees, and even causal loop diagrams. The actual format of a checklist isn't very important. You can have it in a variety of different ways. That is not the importance. The key is having a list. And you may have several lists. That's completely fine. But the key is to have a list of some sort. Without checklists, your brain will forget things you have to do, as well as many of the cool ideas that you come up with. And of course, some of these ideas come to you at 5 a.m. in the morning, and if you don't jot it down, it might be lost, but it might be impractical to do so. So there is that practicality or reality of life as well that I don't want to ignore. But that aside, without checklists, your brain will forget things from time to time, and you will miss out or forget on the ideas that you also come up with. Having lists enable you to plan your day more effectively. I think that's quite obvious. And they will lessen the anxiety of that, what did I need to get done? Or the, is this everything feeling? So it gets rid of that because you have it in front of you. And if you don't record it on the list because you've already forgotten, then I suppose that's bad luck. But as long as you've got it on the list, you can refer to it at any time, all the time. And it takes that anxiety away. There are several types of checklists, but the way I do it, and feel free to copy my approach because I think it's a very good one. I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's a very good one. But feel free to copy it. And the way I do it is that I have two lists. 1, 2. I have two lists. One list is called the master list, and the other one is called the daily list. Both lists are dynamic, and I will explain what I mean by that in a moment. Focusing on my first list, the master list. The master list is a list of everything I need to do. It is everything. When I think of something, it goes on there. So I keep a list, one master list for both work and personal stuff. And I call it my master list. But you can keep two. You could keep one master list for your work and one master list for your personal stuff. You can have two master lists, that's fine. But I just have one just for simplicity's sake. And as I said, the idea is every time I think of something, I put it down on my master list. I write it down, and that is what makes this list dynamic. I keep a paper-based list, or I have two paper-based lists. I just want to make that point right now, but I'll probably make it again later on. I don't use technology. I do go back to old school, and I write things down on a piece of paper. But you can do it however you wish. As I say, format or technology is not as important. Having a list is important. Now, the way I manage this list is, this master list is on a weekly basis. So I add things to it, but I take stock on a Friday evening and I look at what has been accomplished and what I haven't yet done. I then carry over the things not yet done to the next week. And so anything else that I need to do at that juncture, I add in. So I do tick things off during the week and add to the master list during the week. But on a Friday evening, I will make a new list, a new master list for the coming Saturday, Sunday and working week. And then next Friday, I will create a new list for that Saturday, Sunday and the working week. And so it goes on. And when I say I create a new list, it's not much effort because it is the items that I'm carrying over which I haven't sort of completed in that present week. So you've got a master list, which I do on a Friday. And then I've got all of these daily lists. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., etc. And then I'm sort of getting, things ticked off and done. And then you get to Friday and then I look at this master list, see what I've achieved and carry over whatever it is that I need to carry over again on that Friday evening for the next week forward. So rather than have a list which has ticked off items sort of going forward, rather than this just like having ticked off items and things to do, I just create a new sort of one from scratch. It's not exactly from scratch, but a new one on a new piece of paper. And as I say, I use a paper-based list. And this just keeps it neat and tidy. That's all it is. And I suppose if you use technology, you might have items that disappear automatically or something like that. But I use paper. I like to use paper. So this is my method. And doing this also helps me take stock of what I have actually done. And it sort of helps me to say, okay, these were my achievements. Oh, I haven't done this. It doesn't blur away. It keeps me focused. Having a master list also stops me from having a super long daily list, which can look overwhelming. If you just had one list and that was your to-do list and it had 89, 90 things on it, it might be overwhelming and you might be put off and you might not actually get anything done. But if you have 90 things on your master list, which you've just looked at, on Friday, and you've sort of thought about what you need to do on Monday, which is like 5 things, it seems less overwhelming. And then let's say you've got 90 things on the master list, you've done 5 things on the Monday, that means you've got 85 things left on the master list if there's nothing to add. So that's the whole idea. And the other point I want to make is my master list will contain or may contain specific items such as, let's say, go swimming or do yoga, but it will also contain projects. So it's not just specific items, it might be projects as well. And an example of a project might be redecor the bedroom. So redecorate the bedroom might be on my master list as a project. And I'll come back to that in a second. Now moving on to the daily list. The daily list is a list I make every evening for the next day. So on a Monday evening for Tuesday, so for the tasks that I need to complete on Tuesday. On a Tuesday evening for the tasks for Wednesday, and so on. And on a Friday evening, I make the daily list for Saturday and the master list for the next 7 days, Saturday, Sunday, and the working week. My daily list is simply a to-do list of what I intend to get done on that day. So if it's Monday's daily list, it's only got things that I want to get done on Monday, nothing else. The idea is to take things from the master list that I need to do and put them into that day that I intend to do them, and then complete them. Ideally, there should not be any carryover. So the master list I will carry over on a weekly basis with the tasks I haven't done and add to it. But the daily list is all about getting things done on that day. There should ideally be no carryover. Now, initially, you may think that you can do lots of things and have an overambitious list with 50 things on a Tuesday. But then what you will have is a lot of carryover items for the next day, or things that just haven't been accomplished. And you might not do it the next day. You might sort of put them off and do it a few days later. But that's not the idea of it. That's why you have a master list. The daily list is just to focus your energies on what you need to do on that day. And if you have too few items, then it will feel like time being wasted. So you should have enough tasks to complete, but not too few tasks such that you're wasting time on a given day reviewing the master list with what else you can do that day. I mean, it's wasteful because you've already done this planning the previous evening when you created the daily list. So if you just put another couple of things more, you wouldn't be wasting the time during the day to add things to it. So that's the point I'm making. You need to get a balance. Now, initially, it might not happen. You might have lots of items you just don't get done, or you budget for too few items. That's fine. There's always teething problems when you learn a new system, but after a few days, you should know what your capacity is, what your willpower is, and plan accordingly. And definitely it will get better. The daily list, it doesn't seem like it, but the daily list is also dynamic. It seems quite fixed. You just take things from the master list and put it on. But it is dynamic because even though you have planned the previous evening what you are going to do on a specific day, there may be an urgent, important, or another task that just needs doing. And so you need the flexibility to be able to add this item in. If you pack it out to what your capacity is and you have no space for that one urgent item that just pops up unannounced, then it doesn't work as well. And so you need that flexibility. And the flexibility is in both having a list where you can have space to accommodate the task, but it's also more importantly in your mindset as well. Because if you have built a list to capacity, then your mindset is that, oh, these are the only things I can do. Your mindset might become fixed to sort of suggest that these are the only things you can do. And so more importantly, you need the mindset, or where you are mentally prepared for additions or changes to the list. And just to add, it's not only additions, but some circumstances may arise which mean that you may not be able to complete some tasks on a given day. So they may just not happen. It's not that you need space to put some items in. It's the items that you already have may not get done on that given day. And so again, you need the mental agility to sort of not get bogged down in this. And so, yes, mental flexibility is required. Another point of the daily list is that it is only the things you can actually do that day. So I've said this point again, but the key thing is only the things that you can actually do. So my master list, and the reason why I'm mentioning that is because my master list, as you can remember, has projects. And I mentioned redecorate the bedroom. But this isn't an item that can be added to my daily list. And this is sort of like the only rule I really have, because redecorating the bedroom is not one task. It's not a thing that I can do as a single item. It's a project. It is a collection of tasks. So redecorating the bedroom might mean buying paint, buying brushes, painting the walls, painting the ceiling, building a new wardrobe, replacing the carpet. It's a bunch of tasks. It's not one task. And so some of these tasks, buying the paint, buying the brushes, may be completed on one day, and some of the other tasks, painting the ceilings and what have you, may be done on other days. So I don't have the project on my daily list, but I have the specific elements, the painting the ceiling or the buying the paint or the paint brushes. I have those specific elements on my daily lists. And and only the ones that I intend to do that specific day. And so once all the elements are sort of ticked off, then I tick the item off, or the project off, on my master list. So that's how projects work. So this is my system of the master and the daily lists. Give it a try and see if it works for you, and let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions, then also do let me know. But that's all for checklists, and that's all for this mental model. I didn't want to sort of go into the basics of checklists and what they are, because I think that's kind of obvious. I wanted to showcase in this video how I use checklists to become more productive. And that's what I think mental models should be about. It's trying to get positive outcomes, make the right decisions. And so this is how I apply the checklist mental model practically in my day-to-day life. So I hope it works for you too, and please let me know. And that's all for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, then I'm sure you will like some of my previous videos which are flashing on screen now. So please give them a watch too. And I will see you in the next video with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.